Hey everybody, so Amelia here with an episode of Now is the Time. This is podcast episode number 1, and I'm going to get all the details squared away at some point, but right now we're just flying from the seat of my pants. So today's episode, we're going to talk about infinite being and what is an infinite being. So as a kid, one of my absolute favorite things to do was to wake up on Saturday morning and watch the X-Men. And I freaking loved this cartoon. I loved their superpowers. I loved how they always fought for what was right. They fought for justice, and they could take a beating and get back up and keep on going. And I freaking loved it. Like, I love that cartoon. Getting up in the morning every other day of the week was like, I would rather not. I would rather stay in bed. But Saturday morning came around and I could get out of bed like totally easy. It was kind of like Christmas too. I could get out of bed really early on Christmas, but any other day of the week, getting me out of bed was a freaking nightmare. So X-Men, Saturday morning cartoons, being a superhero, magic, Harry Potter, unicorns, like those are the things that I loved about life. That's what I wanted my life to be about. And then this reality comes along and entrains me to be, nope, you got to go to school, you got to get good grades, you got to go to college, you got to start a family, like all the things that this reality says are the best thing to do. So magic kind of got cut out of my life at some point, and I just let it fall away. But it crept back in, and I'm really glad that it did. And part of the reason it crept back in is because I started to acknowledge that I'm an infinite being. And this came from personal experience. This came from psychedelic experiences. This came from years of studying metaphysics and spirituality and the religions of the world, like the Tao Te Ching, and like reading some of the original writings of Jesus the Christ, and learning how to meditate and the art of meditation, and some of these old eclectic metaphysical teachings where they're talking about us and us as infinite beings, and how we have the power and the capacity of choice, and how that choice is one of our greatest powers and capacities. Some of the other things, well, I guess, like, what is an infinite being anyway? I mean, it's hard to say what that means. Infinite goes on forever. Yes. And what else is that? So I really love the body of work, Access Consciousness. And Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, he will say that an infinite being is energy, space, and consciousness. And so one of the things I'm going to do with these podcast episodes is I'm going to introduce you to some of the foundations of the work that I do as a light worker, as an energy healer. And one of the biggest foundations is being an infinite being. And an infinite being is energy, space, and consciousness. So what is that? What does that mean? Well, first of all the definitions that you have of energy, of space, and of consciousness, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate all of that? Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, boy, shorts, and beyonds. And that sentence that I just said is called the clearing statement, and you can go to theclearingstatement.com. It's basically like a magic wand that's going to clear all of the thoughts, feelings, emotions, all the projections and expectations that you have about whatever it is that comes before it. And we'll use that. I will be using the clearing statement in order to clear some energies that are going to open up the space that is available to you so that you have more access to choice. And in this reality, it seems like we don't always have choice. We can go from just hanging out to a reaction to something that somebody says in like half of a tenth of a second. And part of being an infinite being is to have access to choice 100% of the time. And so the clearing statement is about clearing the energy of those instantaneous reactions that we have to our own thoughts, to our own emotions, to our own experience, and to the things that people say and do to us. So everything that brings up, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, boy, shorts, and beyonds. So the other part of this is, an infinite being can neither be created nor destroyed. Energy can neither be created nor destroyed, only transmuted and transformed. So, as an infinite being, we have created brilliant creations to limit us, to stop us, to confuse us, to tie us in knots, to stop us from knowing what we actually know to be true, to stop us from having access to our gifts and capacities. A lot of those being like psychic capacities, being aware of what other people are thinking, being aware of what other people are feeling. Like, we stop ourselves from having access to these capacities for whatever reason from any lifetime. So the clearing statement is going to clear out some of those places and spaces that we have imploded our capacities, that we have limited us, that we have implanted or explanted or been implanted or explanted to not have access to total choice. And it just gives that space between the instance where someone calls you a name, or for example, or somebody's pushing your buttons, and instead of going into instant reaction where you fly off the handle or you shut down or whatever your instantaneous habitual reactions are, the clearing statement is going to give us a space between that instance and the reaction where we have choice, where we can choose how we would like to respond. Cool. So everything that brings up, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, boy, shorts, and beyonds. And part of the destroying and uncreating is we will not be destroying and uncreating ourselves. As energy, as space, and consciousness, we can neither be created nor destroyed. And so, as infinite beings, we have had many lifetimes. Some on this planet, some on the other planets, all sorts of cool stuff. So, in this lifetime, on this planet, many of us have, as infinite beings, have chosen to show up in human-like bodies. But that's for another episode. So, back to being an infinite being. As an infinite being, the four basic capacities that we have are to receive, to perceive, to know, and to be. And being is this space where, like, if you go into nature and you're hanging out in the woods, by a waterfall, in the redwoods, at the ocean, and you're just observing and you're just there, and your mind is not going 100 miles per hour, you're just in this space, you're receiving the beauty of nature, you're receiving the peace and calm. Nature is being. That is an example of being. Receiving is, there's all kinds of ways that we can receive, and there's all kinds of ways that we shut down receiving. Some of the simplest are like, are you able to receive a compliment? You look really good today. I love your hair. You look amazing in that dress. Can you receive those compliments? Can you receive a gift without feeling obligated to gift them something in return? Those are just some examples of receiving. Are you able to receive if someone offers to buy you a coffee? Or do you push that away, shut that down, and like, oh, no, I have to pay for it myself? So those are just some examples of receiving. As an infinite being, we have infinite capacity to receive. And in this reality, that is a major capacity that gets shut down. And part of that is just the insanity and the unkindness of this reality. We choose to shut down our receiving in an attempt to shut out some of the pain and discomfort of the insanity. Like, literally, there's a lot of insanity on this planet, where like this reality, a lot of times I heard someone say that it can seem like a dumpster fire at times. Yeah, who wants to receive that? Who wants to receive all the pain and suffering of 8 billion people on the planet? Yeah, that's not really sounding fun. So that's one of the things we're going to be playing with on this podcast is how can we receive everything without a point of view, without judgment, without having it just like melt our insides. So receiving knowing. So knowing is like that gut feeling. It's been called intuition. So for example, have you ever been invited out somewhere and like you knew in your gut, like, ugh, this is not going to be fun. This is a really bad idea, but you do it anyway for whatever reason, because you feel obligated, because you should, because you need to get out of the house more, because you need to be more social, like whatever that reason and justification is, you go anyway. And then shit goes down. Like, it's a bad night. You get totally wasted and you throw up and you lose your purse, keys, and wallet. Or who knows, like it could be even worse than that. Like there could be some even more terrible experiences from that. Receiving, knowing, perceiving. Infinite beings perceive. Humans and finite beings feel. So this is a really big one. And we stick ourselves constantly with our feelings. So infinite beings perceive. Your body offers sensation, and your body can feel the temperature of the room. Your body can feel the rain and the wind on your skin. Your body can feel the texture of the sheets. So, but the being that you be requires the body to feel. And the being perceives other people's thoughts, other people's emotions, other people's points of view, other people's judgments. As beings, we perceive these things. And so that's a huge shift. If all you take away from this episode is shifting out of like, I feel tired, or I feel sad, I feel lonely, into I'm perceiving sadness, I'm perceiving loneliness, I'm perceiving tiredness, then you will start to extricate yourself from the muddy poo pie cookie dough of this reality. And you will start to acknowledge the gifts and capacities that you, as energy, space, consciousness, as an infinite being who has been created in the image of the Most High, of the infinite mind, the prime creator, and the source of all that is. You have those capacities too. You have the capacities of a superhero, of a magician, of a wizard, of a unicorn. You are freaking magical. So, as an infinite being, the more that we can step out of feelings and the more that we step into perceiving, the greater access you will have to choice, to your capacities, and your own knowingness. So, those are some of the basic capacities of being an infinite being. Now, let's go back, and I'm going to gift you some really practical tools that you can use to start to have access to your knowing, to your being, to your perceiving, and to your receiving. The first tool, and we're just going to start with this one because this is such a powerful tool, and it will allow you to start to see and acknowledge where you are perceiving other people's realities, other people's emotions, and it will allow you to start to see some of your gifts and capacities that you may have like somewhat been aware of, you may have like partially acknowledged, but not to the greatest degree. And this is something that you can continue to build and develop over time. Like, I still play with this tool. It's still 100% relevant. I use it every single day. So, and actually I may have to backtrack and offer one additional tool before we offer that tool. So, the first tool we're going to play with is what's light for you is true and what's heavy is a lie. So just take a deep breath or two. Whew. And everything that's come up from this conversation, from my, from the information that I've been sharing with you, everything that's coming up, all the thoughts, feelings, emotions, all the projections, all the expectations, all the separations, all the judgments, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate and let them all go now? Awesome. 1, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Whew. So when I yawn, when I'm doing these clearings, this is energy moving. This is just the way my body acknowledges the movement of energy and the clearing of energy. So, okay. So one more time. Everything that is, destroy it and create it and let it all go. Cool. And just allow that to dissipate and release from your body. Awesome. Go ahead and drop all your barriers. And just allow yourself to start to notice your body. Notice your feet on the floor. Notice your bottom in the chair. Notice the clothes on your back. Take another deep breath. And then just move your body a little bit. Whatever your body's asking for. Awesome. And now allow the image of a library to come to your mind. This is the space of your mind, of your knowing, of your intellect, of your intelligence. And just notice the space of this library. Is it light? Is it dark? What color is it? Are the books neat and tidy? Are there a lot of books? Is there some other kind of access to information there? Maybe computers, maybe tapestries, maybe scrolls. Just notice. And now, straight ahead of you is the door to an elevator. And we're going to cruise on over to that elevator. Go ahead and hop in the elevator. And we're going to drop down a floor or two. And we're going to drop into the heart space. And just allow your consciousness, allow your awareness to drop into your heart space. Ride that elevator down. And go ahead and exit the elevator onto the floor of your heart space. And just notice what's there, what's available to you. Notice the color of the room. Notice the amount of light. Just notice. And now, just be aware and just notice your body. Expand your awareness out to include your body while still remaining centered in your heart space. And don't let your mind get in the way. Don't let your mind tell you that you're not doing it right. As soon as I ask, just know that your being, your body, is accessing these spaces. Your body and your being are being what's being asked. And your body and your being are contributing to each other for the highest and greatest good. Now, just notice when I ask this question, how does your body respond? So, truth, my body likes to drink water. And just notice how your body responds to that. This is the lightness of you. This is the lightness of truth. And now just notice how your body responds when I ask the next question. Truth, my body likes to drink paint thinner. So everything that doesn't allow you to receive and acknowledge the awareness that your body is gifting you, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, boy, shorts, and beyonds. And it's totally okay to listen to this a couple of times until you're truly okay with and you're receiving the awarenesses that your body's gifting you. Truth, my body likes to drink paint thinner. This is the space of no. This is the space of not true. This is the space of not yours, not working for you, not gonna happen. So everything that brings up, and everywhere you're unwilling to acknowledge that you know what's true for you, and everywhere you've bought the lie that others have sold, that you don't know, that you can't know, that you'll never know, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate? And all the oaths, vows, fealties, communities, commitments, swearings, promises, contracts, and anything else that I'm not mentioning, where you've committed to never knowing, to not knowing, would you be willing to revoke, recant, rescind, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, boy, shorts, and beyonds. Whew. Okay, cool. So now that we are aware of what's true and what's not true, the other tool that I'm going to gift you comes from the body of work, Access Consciousness. And this tool, like I said earlier, is so powerful. It will give you the space to know what's yours and what's not yours. And it will allow you to see when you're perceiving something and when it's actually yours. And 99% of the time, you're probably just perceiving something from other people, or you've bought a lie from other people that this is the truth, that this is reality. Because the reality of infinite beings is ease, joy, and glory. So everything that brings up and lets down, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate it? Whew. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, boy, shorts, and beyonds. Lovely. Okay, so the tool is, who does this belong to? Truth. Who does this belong to? So I'm having thoughts of suicide and depression. Truth. Who does that belong to? If it gets lighter and your space opens up, then whatever you were thinking or feeling is not yours. Return to center with consciousness attached. And then you can POC and POD it. Literally, you could just be like, POC and POD. Return to center, POC and POD. Or return to source, POC and POD. I don't have to heal other people's shit. POC and POD. So, this heartburn that I've been having, truth, who does it belong to? If it lightens up, it's not yours. And there's some lie that you've bought that's yours. Truth, who does this knee pain belong to? Truth, who does this headache belong to? Truth, Who does this sadness belong to? Truth. Who does this, whatever it is. I was going to say orgasm, but hopefully that's yours. Anyway, so truth, who does that belong to? Return to sender or return to source with consciousness. POC and POD. So everything that brings up, and everywhere you're unwilling to receive, know, perceive, and be the infinite being you truly be, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, all night, pod, poc, boy, shorts, beyonds. So let's do this. So truth, are you an infinite being? Is that light in your world, or does it get heavy? Truth, are you an infinite being? Everything that brings up, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate it? And all the lies that you've bought, all the oaths, vows, fealties, communities, commitments, swearings, promises, and contracts that you bought in any lifetime, space, time, reality, or dimension that says that you're finite, that you're pathetic, that you're small, that you're little, that you're not good enough. Everything that is, return to source, return to sender, right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, boy, shorts, and beyonds. Awesome. Whew. So to finish up this podcast, I'm just going to do some clearings around infinite being. So truth, what energy, space, and consciousness can you and your body be to receive, know, perceive, and be the infinite being you truly be? Everything that doesn't allow that, destroy and uncreate it. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, boy, shorts, meons. Truth, what energy, space, consciousness, and choice can you and your body be to receive, know, perceive, and be the infinite being you truly be? Everything that doesn't allow that, destroy and uncreate it. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, boy, shorts, and meons. So, truth, are you an infinite being? Everything that brings up and lets down, destroy and uncreate it. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, boy, shorts, and meons. So, truth, are you willing to acknowledge you as the infinite being you truly be? Everything that doesn't allow that, destroy and uncreate it. Right, wrong, good, bad, all night, pod, poc, boy, short, to be honest. So truth, are you willing to acknowledge the infinite being you truly be? Everything that doesn't allow that, destroy and uncreate it. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, boy, shorts, and beyonds. So what energy, space, consciousness, and choice can you and your body be to be willing to receive, know, perceive, and be the infinite being you truly be? Everything that doesn't allow that, destroy and uncreate it. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, boy, shorts, and meons. And part of being the infinite being and being willing to be the infinite being is to hear the call to action, is to hear the call to be the superhero of consciousness you truly be, to be the change on the planet that's required so that we don't destroy the planet, so that we don't destroy ourselves on the planet, so that we can actually create a sustainable, and thriving living earth and society for the next 10,000 years. And that, my friends, is us being infinite being, having choice, acknowledging our capacities, acknowledging our potency, and acknowledging that the superheroes always win. And when you're willing to be the superhero of consciousness, when you're willing to be the infinite being that you truly be, then all the insanity is irrelevant. And we, the superheroes of consciousness, who are here to create a sustainable living earth, a thriving, sustainable living earth for future generations, for justice, for like the good of everyone as a contribution to the kingdom of we. When we're willing to step out and be the infinite beings we truly be, then that's when magic and miracles are going to show up on this planet. That's when the insanity and the people who are perpetrating judgment and evil and unconsciousness on the planet, that's when they start to fall away. And that is the reason that this podcast is called Now is the Time. Because now is the time for each of us as infinite beings to step out and be the capacity, to be the potency, and to be the choice that we truly be. So everything that doesn't allow that, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate it with nuclear bomb intensity on 3? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Whew. And on 4, for opening the door to a future where you are willing to be the potency, the infinite being you truly be. On 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And on 5, destroying and uncreating the algorithms that perpetuate the insanity of finite on the infinite beings of this planet. On 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whew. And on 13, we're going to jump tracks to a reality beyond this reality where you are willing to be and acknowledge the infinite being you truly be. On 13, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13. Awesome. You guys are amazing. I can't wait to have my theme song attached to this podcast. I love you guys, and I hope to meet you in person someday. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.